So let's get right to it. A week ago, you kind of surprised us with a little bit of 15 to 20,000 Tennessee fans will be in Columbus. Are you sticking to that?
It's higher than that.
Really?
Yeah. Randy Boyd said on a social media something or other, it was Instagram or something, he popped in and said he talked to somebody at Ohio State, his counterpart. They're expecting north of 30,000 Tennessee fans in the place.
Really? Okay, now I'm
Wow.
guessing, and you probably know better than I do,
Right?
what does the actual playoff force the home team to give the visitor?
Oh,
First of all.
3,000 tickets.
So this is all secondary market,
Yeah.
just
George,
saying I'll pay out the you know what.
I'm on the I'm on the StubHub right now, okay? And 2 tickets, 2 get-ins are down to $123 each. A week ago, those same 2 tickets were going for a couple $100. The ticket before kickoff will be under $100, well under $100. There are 18 to 20,000 tickets available on the broker boards alone, let alone these boards. I'm talking about the private broker boards. There's 18 to 20,000. Buddy of mine is a ticket broker. I called him this morning. He said, this thing's nosediving, Tony, from a get-in perspective. Just an absolute nosedive deal, George. And so what you're looking at is you're looking at a spot here where you've got a fan base that's decided, like I told you guys last week,
Right.
they're going to Pasadena. They're going to play Texas down in Dallas. They're saving their money. And their gamble is, hey, we don't have to buy. We don't need to buy these tickets. I'll tell you this, George, Tennessee gets close to half the crowd in there. Those people are going to wish they bought those tickets because they're going to negate their home field advantage if we're not careful. And I'm telling you right now, Randy Boyd, again, put up on a social media post that he's hearing north of 30,000. I think it's going to get higher than that.
Good Lord.
I know several people that spur of the moment today called us and said, hey, we're going. And George, what's going to happen is, this is my prediction. You guys pop over to StubHub if you don't believe me. These tickets are $123 right now to get in, $123 to get in. If people wake up Saturday morning and they see $95, $85, $75, there's going to be a convoy of people coming up $75. Because people are going to wake up Saturday morning and they're going to go, hey, I don't want to miss this. Here's the deal, though, guys. I mean, let's face the facts here. This is old hat for Ohio State. This is at least 2 rounds before they thought they would be at the worst. They never thought they'd play in the Rose Bowl. They thought they'd get to the semifinals. Seeded to the well, yeah, they play in the Rose, seeded to the semifinals. Yeah. So they're a round early, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
What's the drive from Knoxville to Columbus?
About 5 hours.
Yeah, so it's very doable.
Yeah.
Wow.
What about Nashville, George, Mid-State? Any idea?
Billy, what?
Well,
it's 4 to Cincinnati, 5.5.
Yeah. Yes, it's in the middle of the state. I used to drive it. I can't remember exactly, but it's probably
almost 6 hours.
6 hours, 7 hours, something like that. Yeah.
So it's doable. It's doable. And by the time we get done doing our call-in show at 5:00 on Sunday morning, we'll get it people mostly home. And so the point is that, this thing is extremely doable. It's a lot of fun, and it's a real opportunity for these Tennessee people who have just been starving. And the Ohio State people have had manna falling from heaven for so long that they don't appreciate it. They don't appreciate where they're at.
So to me, it feels like Tennessee has the best shot as an underdog to pull this off and actually go win up there. Do most of the people in Knoxville feel the same way?
Sure. Yeah, it's an opportunity. The thing most people say here, George, is you got to play your cleanest football game that you've played. The problem with this Tennessee team is is that when they go on the road, well, they don't play clean football anyway. It's a lot of penalties, that sort of thing. But they've got to be cleaner. They've got to clean stuff up because Ohio State's got a talent edge here. And still, you're going to be playing in a hostile environment. I think the thing that helps Tennessee is the weather forecast for Saturday night is brutal. I mean, brutal. Here it's going to be like a high of 32, as you guys know, across our region.
Yeah.
But it's going to be brutal up there. I mean, brutal. You know, George, you and I grew up when they used to have the old Ever Ready. And not ever. And the Energizer, was it? What was the commercial?
Energizer.
The Die Hard battery. The battery in your car where they would show you outside of Lambeau Field.
Right.
That's what this thing's going to look like Saturday night, George. It's going to look like Lambeau Field up there, man. Where you come back to your car and you want your car to start. And it's going to be like, they say it's going to be like 18, 19 degrees during the game.
Lovely.
Kelly can speak to that, but I don't think that's fun weather to play football in, Kelly.
No.
Is it?
Well, yeah, but here's the deal, though. When you get to playing a game like that and you get the juices flowing and the blood starts flowing and you start running around, you don't even realize how cold it is. But I tell you what, when you walk out there, before you start warming up, it's cold.
Cold. I mean,
by
cold,
the way,
brother.
By the way, Kelly, before I turn it to you, I believe that Tony Basilio was very sincere. Radio people love freebies. They don't have to be particularly good. Yeah.
I just try to tell George that he probably needs
Kelly,
to.
How many are you going to send me, George? A few? You send me a few of those?
I'm going to send you enough for the family.
All right. So I'll get one. Maybe I was thinking of how many I can, because I'm going to flip a couple on eBay.
Oh,
Italian. Hey, listen, Italian people. No, listen, Cal. Italian people, man. We're always looking for an edge here, man. You can laugh all you want. By the way, guys, low of 17. No, low of 16 Saturday night during the game. Low of 16, Kelly. Does that sound inviting with the wind blowing?
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, with the wind blowing, no, that's not fun.
No,
by the way,
that's not fun.
If you put those up trying to make money, they're going to demand money to take them.
Yeah. Probably I'll get a strike against our account, take them down like something illegal.
Go get censored.
But look at what it's done, though. I mean, Kelly is into it. Oh. He appears energized. Let's see if it continues during the questioning.
No question.
Well, I was just hoping.
I'm rocking today. I'm rocking.
I know. I saw it. The Eagles, baby.
Oh my God.
EAGLES Eagles. I saw it. They're pretty good, man.
Back in the day, the Kelly Green. Back in the day.
Hey, they're really good too.
Hold on a second. We got a comment you need to see.
I bet Tony is where.
The hat.
No, the hat's not a freebie. Trust me.
Oh, I love it.
This is one of those. This is one of those what they call Tilly hats, Tilly endurance hats. If it ever wears out, you get another one. It's like got a lifetime guarantee on it.
Tony, so we talking. Hey, let's just start out with the Eagles. So everybody in the NFC, everybody's high on Detroit. So Detroit's a very good football team, but Philly is right there, and they may get home field advantage.
Well, too many injuries in Detroit.
The thing we've learned, guys, is you get that Detroit team out of that dome, it's a different football team. They remind me of that old Oz Hakeem, Isaac Bruce,
St. Louis Rams.
Yeah,
greatest show on turf.
Yeah, you get a team like that out of a dome, and you get them up there in Philly where those people are insane. I'll tell you a funny weather story. I was telling the listeners this on the air today. When my son was, let's say, junior in high school, maybe, we drove up. Eagles playoff game. We got 3 tickets. And my brother lives about 20 minutes outside the city. So we went and stayed with him. My son, Anthony, one of his high school friends, Andy, who's now an attorney in town, and me, we drove up. And we got up there, and I saw that the high was going to be that day 14.
Sweet.
And I said to my brother, who at that time was probably, my brother at that time is probably 63, 64. I said, hey, man, you feel like going to a football game today? He goes, I'll go. I stayed at his house and watched it on television. I drove 9 hours watching. Hey, I drove 9 hours to stay out of 14-degree weather. My brother came, he texted me and said, what in the world was I thinking? I said, I don't know. Because I sure wasn't going to that game. I made a business decision, y'all.
And a smart one. Billy, put the next comment up there.
Thank you.
He did. Yes, he did.
I'm looking pretty strong today. I'm looking pretty strong today, if I can say so myself.
That's a good comparison right there. A little Indiana Jones look. I like it.
It's a good look on me.
So what concerns you about this Ohio State team? Because I said last week, and I've said the weeks before, I mean, I think I even said it yesterday, Tennessee's got a team that'll travel with running the ball and with really good defense.
Yes.
If I'm Ohio State, I'm making Nico beat me, and he can, but it's going to be cold. He's not ready for that. He's a California kid, but if you get Dylan Sampson going, and if you can get those guys, because the Ryan Day situation is just so toxic right now, which is unbelievable to me. The guy's lost 5 Big Ten games. I know 4 of them has been to Michigan, but it's unbelievable all the winning that he's done. But if you can make them start thinking a little bit and you can go up on them maybe 10-3 or 14-3, something like that, then that place is going to explode and be crazy. But what do you think are – has Heupel said anything about what he's concerned about? What concerns you about Ohio State? They're really good. They're really athletic. So what concerns you?
My concern is, do the Vols let Will Howard get comfortable?
Yeah.
If they don't get a pass rush, you're in big trouble. You're talking about a team with the best receiving core in the country, not a stretch. You're talking about a team Tennessee hasn't seen anywhere near this receiving core. The thing about Will Howard is, though, he's an upset waiting to happen. A turnover waiting to happen, and that makes Ohio State a team that's upsettable. They're very beatable there. I believe every road team comes into this weekend as a live dog, guys. I really do. I think Tennessee's got an excellent chance to win this game. I think Indiana's got a chance to beat Notre Dame. I think it's something that kind of year in college football. And these teams are all grouped together. Look, SMU's got a shot at Penn State noon. Clemson with Texas. Clemson-Texas line's a couple scores, and I get it. Texas has a lot of talent. But look, if Clemson puts 17 on the board, can Texas score 30? I mean, George, you're a rambling, gambling man. That looks like an interesting line to me. But I'll tell you something about the night game. The night game, Kelly, you said it. The team that runs the ball better probably is going to win the game. Now, Ohio State's got a good run defense. They've got a solid run defense. Thing about Big Ten run numbers, though, is that those numbers can be deceiving because they play in a league that just doesn't have the concentration of strong teams in the middle that this league does. I do think, as I've told you guys, and this makes Tennessee fans extremely mad when I say this, I think that the top teams in that league, the top teams in the SEC are very comparable.
Yeah.
It's the middle of the league that's the difference. It's the middle and the bottom of the league that I think separates the two. But you get these teams in a one game type situation. The Vols have to be clean Saturday night, and Nico's got to outplay his counterpart. Another thing that concerns me.
Did you notice how he said that? Clean.
No, they really do. I mean, George, this team, when they go on the road, the 100 yards and penalties.
Yeah, that can't happen
work in this game.
Agree.
And giving a veteran quarterback like that's played in a lot of big games at Kansas State and some there, giving him free fives here and there to throw the ball downfield and take shots downfield like they did when they allowed Georgia's quarterback to grow into that game a few weeks back. I mean, Tennessee's got to pressure this guy. They got to pressure this guy, and they got to run the ball. And if they don't do those two things, they're going to be in trouble Saturday night.
So here's a gripe for me, okay?
Yeah.
This is a gripe, and this is totally out. It's what's going on with college football now, and we know what this is. But I heard the other day that there's like 40-something kids that are on these 12-team playoffs that have entered the transfer portal.
Yeah.
And we got into an argument yesterday because I would be like, I'm gone. Billy wants to keep him because he's a Generation Z or whatever he is. I don't know. Who knows what Billy is, but he wants to keep everybody.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother him. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
like if a quarterback like the Drew Allers kid, the quarterback behind him has said that he's going into the transfer portal, like in years to come. They're going to have to figure this stuff out, because what if something happens to like the right guard for UT and his backup has entered the transfer portal, he's no longer in the game, and then the guy coming in doesn't have any playing experience. That could be a huge deal. So like, where is this going, Tony?
Well, I agree with Billy. Billy's got you're getting emotional about it.
I am getting emotional. And if you're going to quit on me, be gone.
But Kelly, what's the difference between that and an assistant coach taking a head coaching job? Or taking a coordinator job.
Well, I get that, but he's going to do that after the year. Well, you're hey, that's a good point. That's a good point.
That's a hard one to
argue. And the coaches,
Tony Basilio.
Well, no, I'm not trying to. We're all entitled to our opinion, but the coaches are the ones that started this inevitably.
They are,
right?
Totally.
And
agreed.
And your son's been in a spot where, because my son's been in the middle of doing college sports, where a coach will say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to be here," and then they're gone.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you're left to fend for yourself. The way the schedule lays, they force the kids into making these decisions that they force these coaches into making for years now. We've seen head coaches leave 10-0 teams that are 11-0 teams back in the day. Kelly, he left an 11-0 Cincinnati team that made a Sugar Bowl, couldn't wait to get to Notre Dame. Didn't even coach him in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, and so if I'm a head coach, both of these head coaches welcome their kids back. Ohio State's kids stayed. Tennessee's kids left. That's how this has gone. So both staffs welcome their kids back because, Kelly, they know what you said, what Billy said, which is, it's one thing to bluster and go get off my campus, because in a way I agree with that. But if I win Saturday, I'm going to need depth on my roster when I go and I play Oregon. And then what happens if I get by Oregon and all of a sudden I get a quarterback hurt and I'm down to a third team guy that, looks like he's got my legs. I'm no athlete, as they say in the trade, and you get down to your third team guy in this day and age, you ain't going to have an athlete out there. You're going to be, in some big trouble. So, you don't want me at quarterback. Ohio State's got a quarterback that's in the portal. He's leaving after the year. But we were told today he's going to be there. He's on the practice field. And if he's called upon, he's going to play. Tennessee's got several wide receivers and a linebacker that's played this year, but they've got a few, including Nimrod. Chaz Nimrod has got one of the great names of all time in the history of college football. But he's in the portal, and he's had several targets this year, but he's not going to be available. So, I think this stinks. I think the whole thing stinks, but the coaches started it. The greed started it, not the kids.
I totally agree with that, man. I totally agree with that. I just don't know as a coach how I could do that. If I grew up in a different time, you guys grew up in a different time.
That's right.
If I told kids that I was staying, I don't care how much I'm staying. I'm just not going to do that. And I had a friend that was at a big school, and the coach looked at him. We played together, and the coach actually looked at him and said, "I'll be here." And guess what? A week later, gone.
And that's the point. You're right. And that's the point. And that's the point. And these guys, when they do that, and that's what they make it about, because these coaches, look, it's one thing to go, "Oh, it's us forever. It's us forever. I love you forever. I love you. I love you. I love you." The minute somebody flashes $5 more in front of their faces, they're out of there. So how do you want the kids to act? And then why would the fans be on the kids if the coaches are the ones? And really, the truth is the NCAA has created this, and the kids are simply doing what they have to do. But you're right, Kelly. It's a shame. I'll tell you another thing that really makes no sense to me is how Tennessee, while they're trying in all these programs that are making that have made the playoffs, have to sit here and host visitors on their campus. while this is all going on.
That's crazy. I thought about that yesterday.
Tennessee's got internal interior linemen. They got interior. My brain's fried. They have interior linemen, offensive and defensive interior linemen that they need to land, and they got to worry about. They've got to worry about trying to win a playoff game Saturday night. They don't have time to fool around with that stuff. You got some kid on your campus. They can't wait for him to get off their campus, but they've got to get him. And then the other thing is, back in the day, George, this month was used for growing your players. You make a playoff game, you don't have a chance to grow your players in practice. I got to get ready for a playoff game. I don't have a chance to look at my freshman right guard and see how he's developed, or my freshman left tackle over here and see how he's developed in practice.
I don't have time for that. Fairy tale now.
That's a fairy tale. That's exactly right. It's a different deal.
So after the game Saturday night, I will be listening to your show.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
Don't do that.
For others, how do they tune it in? Why? A show that may never, because I think I want to be. I think I want to be entertained.
The Predators are entertaining enough.
Don't talk to me about them right now,
George. I looked at the Preds today because somebody asked me about the Columbus team, and I said, "Oh God, that Columbus team's awful." And a guy said, "You think they're awful?" He said, "Look at how many points they have, and look at how many." The Preds have 10 less points than that Columbus team, George, who are trying to lose.
I know. I don't look. If I had the answer, I'd fix it. So let's get back to
if bad professional sports, George, were hazardous to your health, we would literally have like body bags down there when it comes to football and hockey. Can we get an amen on that?
Amen.
Professional organism. What are we doing? And I love my Preds. Do the Preds have a run in them, George? Second half of the year? Yes.
Doesn't feel like it.
Yes, they have to.
Oh, God, let's hope so.
All right, I'm at Club.team. George, here's how crazy it is. To get a break, right? I have people that come in and do these shows. Like tonight, we have a post-game show here.
Right.
Nobody wants to come in my house right now because we've had the flu bug in here, and all my people have called in and said,
not coming.
When I call them, they're like, negative. Love your show. Not coming in here.
Not coming in. No.
Not coming in here in a mask. Not doing the show. So I'll be in here tonight, George, talking about Tennessee. Now, here I am, all these years later. You talk about be careful the party you create. The Vols are like a 37-point favorite tonight, George, and I got to sit in here post-game and make that sound interesting for an hour. Would you like to do it for me, George? That's women's basketball, George. 37 points.
Only against the spread.
Yes.
Okay. I need you to do this seriously. I need you to text me how many of these priceless heirlooms you want.
Brother, I can't wait. tclub.team. And listen, if we've got any remnants from Kelly's career that he wants to send up, Kelly, you're my boy. Like, I tell you what, a Holcomb jersey, something of that effect.
Is that right? I've got some Holcomb jerseys around here.
Yeah. Hey, I'd rock it for you, my brother. Here on the air.
Well, I'm just going to be up front with you. You're not getting it.
Well, listen,
see, that's pathetic.
I've been checking every Goodwill in the area, and I'm going to have some of my friends up in the Columbus Goodwill looking the Goodwill for you. I'm going to see if we can find one in Columbus. Up there, Brownie.
I love it. This is beautiful. Tony, hey, send me the text.
Hey, love you guys.
Hey, same here.